Oh, do the job that comes naturally to you. What does this mean? Okay. Many times in our life, we know deep inside what we're meant to do with our life. We know there's a voice talking to us, or things that we would like to do, or dreams that we would like to fulfill. Of course, life happens, and you have children, you have a family, things go wrong, you lose money, you make money, you get sickness, you get health. Life happens. Good times, bad times. And while it's happening, we forget about these dreams. We let them go. We don't focus on them anymore. Or there's a voice in the background, and then we're so busy because we'd forgotten these voices. We're so busy looking at everybody else who may be successful, or who may have got it right, or who may have got the secret. But instead of seeing how they got it right, we want to do exactly what they're doing. In other words, we think if this job makes you successful and gets you the right car and the right clothes and the right thing, then that's for me. But maybe that's not for you. Maybe that car, those clothes, that position wasn't for you. It's not for everyone. So we struggle all our lives to be somebody else because it looks successful. Is success wrong? No. For me, what is success? I had to redefine this word so many times in my life. What is success? I've seen successful people, bitter, angry, arrogant, rude. I have also seen successful people who are joyful. And for me, success is being joyful. Why would you want success if you don't have peace? Why would you want it? Is that success? Do you know, we measure success in monetary terms. We measure success in fame or power. But is that really success? What is really success? For me, success is going home and just knowing, oh my God, I love being home. I'm comfortable. Success is, for me, getting up in the morning and saying, wow, I'm looking forward to my day. I'm going to spend 8 hours working today. Boy, am I going to enjoy it. And it doesn't even feel like work. To me, this is success. This is living. I think half the people I meet, 90% of the people I meet are doing jobs and doing things because it's the right thing to do. Because it looks that that's the way we should live our life. And we lose that dream. We lose that voice, we lose that joie de vivre. We forget to laugh. And then we go home begrudging everybody around us because we're not happy. But how can you be happy when you're doing something that you weren't born to do? We're all different. So this is the tricky part. This is the tricky part of life, is making money wrong. I think it's wonderful. I think all yogis should be rich. We'd know how to look after the world. We'd share it all. You see, deep inside all of us, we have this thing called, we need to love our life. We need to love people before we spark. We need to love our work. So many times you see people taking on jobs, I'll give you an example of myself. When I met my master, obviously, I fell so in love with him. So in love with him. So what did I want to do? I wanted to be like him, which is not a bad thing. It's a really good thing. But after a few years, you know what happened? I wanted to be him. And now this is the scary bit. And I tried to be him. So be him. I wasn't a monk, I was married. Can you imagine my poor husband? So so I was like, okay, I suddenly had a shop that sold fashion, many of you know that. Suddenly want to wear baggy clothes, not pretty clothes, etc. Tried to act holier than thou. And I really need to thank my son, who was only about 13 or 14. And he came to me and he said, Mom, what are you doing? And I go, what do you mean what I'm doing? I'm meditating, I'm loving God. This is not you, Mom. This is not you. You love fashion. You love energy. You love to be a dance teacher. And now, you're not dancing. You don't put on the music loud and dance in the room. And poor Dad, what did he deserve for you to wear these ugly clothes and look frumpy? I mean, he was being totally honest, right? And then it really made me think. It really made me think. It really made me think, yes, I love music. To this day, my grandchildren come, and I love to dance with them. Not that I can dance like that anymore, but I love music. I love people. I love life. My master loved all these things, but he was a man, and he was a monk, and he was an avatar. I'm never going to be that. What I needed to emanate was all those good qualities in the personality that I was given. Because when we try to be somebody else and lose and shun our own personality, then we are actually insulting the divine that created us in a certain way. And this took many years of reflection, many years of meditation. Okay, who am I? I used to ask, who am I? What is my personality? What do I love? What do I love? Let me do that work that I love. And, I didn't know, but I love this. I love being around people. I love people. I wish I had more time to be with more people. I just don't. But I also love my home, and I love my quiet time. I love silence. I love sitting down at the end of the day and watching a great program. This is Nalanie. I don't have to be anybody else. This makes me feel complete, and this makes me fall in love with life and with God, because I am living fully who I am and not trying to be something I'm not. I could never be like Gurudev, and to have even the mind to think I could be like him, I must have been mad. Can you imagine? I would struggle my whole life to be something I am not. And I see this, people do this with their lives. They try to be something. They try to be that famous singer, or that famous actress, or that famous politician, or that incredible banker, whatever you want to be. I don't know what you want to be in life. And just to find out that's not what I want to do, and not to be afraid to do what you want to do. I remember I had a student many years ago, and she took up a law degree, very smart, brilliant at it. I heard her speak, and I said, my God, you're really good at this job. Anyway, 2 years into the job, she hated it. She was miserable. She was depressed. She was, not happy in her marriage, because if you're not happy at work, you're not going to be happy at home, right? Isn't it true? So, or not happy at home, you're not going to be happy at work. Works both ways. So then she came to me, totally struggling with herself. And she said, I studied this, my parents spent so much money, and, I'm just going to let everybody down. And I said, you're going to let everybody down when you get sick. You're going to let everybody down when you fall apart. You're going to let everybody down when you lose your marriage. That's when you'll let everybody down. I said, you're young. Leave it. And she said, do what? And what do you like? A whole list of things she liked to do that wasn't anything to do with law. So I said, speak to your partner. Ask him, you'd be without a job for a little while. Is it okay? Could he afford it? Because you're really not happy. You're really miserable. Talk to him nicely. And, oh no, I can't do that. You need to do it. Speak to your parents who've spent so much money on your education. Tell them truthfully how you feel. Be totally honest. And she said to me, okay, so I don't know if I can do it. So she came back for creative visualization. We made her practice every week how to tell her parents. And then she finally did, and she finally told her husband. And you know what? None of them minded. So we spent all that time with this unnecessary exercise when actually nobody really minded, because they could see she wasn't happy. And they just wanted her to be happy. Thank God they could afford it. So she chose a totally different career, became really happy in it. A few years later, she had children, loved being a mother, and stayed being a mother. Yes, they had less of what she wanted materially, but she had a happier home. This is just an example. And like this, I have met hundreds of people in my life, and they fear moving on. What I'm saying is, when you are not afraid of following your dream, So I always wanted to help the world before I died. Now I have the opportunity. And you find a way to live. Do you know? Just live so you are happy enough and you're inspired to get up every single morning. There's something to look forward to. And people go, is it too late for me to study at 55? I said, absolutely not. I said, when I was in university in the States, there was a chap who came to our class. He wasn't studying fine arts and child psychology, which I was studying, but he used to come, because in America you have to take 40 credits of all different subjects. So he came to one of our art classes and he was trying to paint and anyway, I used to talk to him a lot. I was fascinated. 72, and when you're 18 and 19, 72 is old. When you're 63, 72 is young. This old man coming to our class, what's he doing? I was fascinated. So I used to talk to him, and he said, he said to me, all my life, I had to make a living, I was very poor, I came from a very poor family. I could never afford to go to school. And all my life I worked, had my family, had my children, married, grown up. I have grandchildren. My wife died, and I had nothing. I had nothing for me. He said, all my life I wanted to study. All my life I wanted to learn. And then somebody said to me, he said, after my wife passed a year later and I just wanted to die, he said, somebody said to him, go back to school. Why not? And he goes, my age? Why not? So he had been in university for 3 years when I met him, and I was very fortunate to be at his graduation. And he graduated, and I think the whole art room, we just cried. We were so touched by his speech. And it's never too late to learn. Our master said, when people think they know it all, and they get super spiritual, and I know it all, I know all the scriptures, and I know all that. Our master once said, you think you know it all? He said, do you know we have a goddess called Goddess Saraswati? She's a goddess, and she still has a book in one hand, and she has music in the other hand, and she has mala beads on the other hand, and she's constantly learning. And I have learned a great secret. Life is tough. Life is really tough. I went through my husband's death, which was the most toughest thing. My sister's death, my nephew's. I've had so many deaths. All the students that I've loved, so many have gone. And life is tough. So if you don't keep yourself inspired by doing what you love in life, then there's no point in being in life, is there? With all the toughness, do you see? So but when you do that which comes naturally to you, what comes naturally to you? What is easy for you? What makes you laugh? What makes you sing? Not because it's somebody else's dream and you want to follow their dream. No, if it is your dream, go to the person who's been successful in that dream and ask them to teach you. That's what you should do. Instead of being jealous, these guys are so lucky. And this is what I see a lot. When people are not happy in their work, they're very envious of other people. How come they got it right? But you don't need to be envious of anyone. You just need to get it right and trust yourself and be brave. I think the message is be brave. Be you the best you can and be brave. We're all looking for enlightenment. But what is enlightenment without joy? All the greatest masters were joyful because they did what they loved. They talked about love, they talked about joy, but they did what they loved. Great courage in the spiritual field to be totally you with love. It takes great courage. It takes great courage to accept who one is. To accept, this is who I am. This is my capacity. This is, maybe I have so much capacity and I'm not living up to my capacity. I see people like that all the time too. People who have such incredible minds and incredible energies that they don't believe in themselves. Everybody is always better than them. You see, we are given gifts. All of us. And we don't believe in our gifts. But it's not the big gifts or the small gifts. It's not whether you're famous or not. I find the most incredible human beings, like, I was telling a story of somewhere I went to speak, was in a man who was a banker actually, and all his life hated banking. His dream was always to wish I didn't have to make so much money because I would love to be gardening. So what he decided to do, so let's do it. So anyway, many years later, he started gardening. He did it in his free time, Saturday, Sunday, when he finished work. And one time I was with his wife and she said, oh, my husband doesn't know anything about yoga. And he looked at me. He said, no, I may not know anything about yoga, but I know something about creation. I know something about God. I know where I see God. So I said, I'd love to know. He said, now he's going to talk to you about his garden. I said, I'd love to know. I'm really curious. I don't know much about gardening. So he took me to this vegetable garden in the back of the house. And then he said, when I plant those seeds, I put them into the dark ground. And when I get up very early in the morning, at 6 o'clock in the morning, when the light comes, and when I see the first leaf, I feel life. Life has been created. When I got my first tomato, he said, it's the most incredible feeling in the world. He said, I know God through nature. And I went back to his wife and I go, he's the yogi. You need to learn from him. So it just, when I see life and all the people I've seen over the years, I see, actually something happens to them that's quite terrible if they don't move. If they don't move. So that they do move. So if you're smart and you're stuck, move. And if you're not sure what you want to do with your life, today is so interesting. There's so much going on the internet. Don't spend too much time on it. But if there's something that you are enjoying or inspired with, look at the internet. Ooh, should I take a little course in that? And get excited. Do I feel it? Does it feel a tingling? Some courses are sometimes good to keep you inspired if it's calling you. Life calls me, so I'm just inspired by life every morning. So I don't have that need. But if you're uninspired, you need to find that need until that voice inside of you says, that's enough. Okay? And you need to find out what you like. It's so sad. So sad to leave this earth if you haven't followed your dreams. What's the worst that can happen? You fail, you can start again. The saying, every failure is a stepping stone towards success. It really is. It makes you, I think people have a lot of failures sometimes in their lives because it makes them humble. It makes them think. It takes the arrogance out of people. I think, God loves those people because he really wants them to learn quick. I really believe Spirit loves you. But you have to listen. You have to listen. And where's the voice going to come from? Where is the kingdom of heaven? Within. Where is your kingdom of heaven? Lies deep within you. And the Bible says, don't ye know that ye are gods? Don't you know that you are gods? In a way, we've been given this present or gift of life to create. Create wherever it calls you. To be a mom, to be a brilliant father. I met another couple, there's another story. The woman, she's brilliant at business, loves big money, loves big companies, loves all that fluff, right? And she wants to give it all up for yoga. Then I meet another guy who doesn't like business, loves meditation. That's his nature. So they get together. He's trying to do business. He doesn't love it. Loves to come home to the garden, to meditate, to cook, to look after the home. She tries to be a yogi. She gets irritated, angry, frustrated at her husband because he's not making enough money for her. She's not really being a yogi, is she? So I had a chat. I said, you guys are really weird. You got the perfect combination and you don't even know it. You should go out in the world and make the money, the woman, and you should stay home and be the stay-home dad, and you have a perfect marriage. It's expectation, do you see? We expect so much. And when we deny ourselves from who we are, you're going to get angry. She denied herself. She's so brilliant at business. No, I'm going to be a yogi. I'm not interested in. But she is, because she likes the good things in life. She does. So you can't deny this is who you are. If you like the good things in life and you starve yourself every day, you're going to be angry. You're going to be bitter. You're going to create, everybody's going to suffer around. You have to follow your dharma, your karma. You have to walk through it before you can be free of it. You have to walk through your desires before you have to be free from it. If you're meant to be free from it, it'll make you so sick that you'll drop it. Okay? Life will teach you. So you just have to not to pretend or lie or fight against yourself so much. But more or less, more relax. What is my nature? What is my nature? What am I good at? We always think somebody's, has to be a certain way or earn a certain amount or in order to be happy. And what's happening today in this world? So many, they work so hard. 2 people working, make so much money, no time for each other, totally stressed out, blaming each other for making each other work too hard, and then hate each other, divorce, kids get disturbed. And I go, hello, what happened with all that money? In the end, the divorce, nobody has any money. All the money's gone anyway. So what did you work for? Do you know, it's almost like a joke when I see these cases. It's a joke. What have you done to each other? And not only that, rest of their life they try to destroy each other. So, when you're thinking of being spiritual, it is really important to make your dharma your swadharma. What does the word swadharma mean? It means whatever gift you've been given in life, you do it with spirit in it. And simply, like Mother Teresa, I'm quoting her today a lot, like what Mother Teresa said, it's to do small things with great love. Whatever you do, when you cook, put love in it. I've got two chefs right here. So much love in the food. So much love in the food that if you eat the food, you will always be healthy for the rest of your life because there's so much blessing in it. I'm serious. Because they love it, and you love it, you can taste it, you can feel it. Do you know? It's joy. Whatever it is, if you do it with joy, if you want to be a banker, be the best banker ever. That's your swadharma. But be great to your team, be great with your staff, teach them how to work together. Work as a group, work as a team. It's so important. If you're a leader in your field, whichever field you are in, computers, business, whatever field, art, music, if you're a leader in your field, make a team. That's what Dharma. Make it your Sangha. Make it your family. Make it your friend. They make everybody your friends, because you're going to be working with them 8 hours every single day. And if they're your enemies, oh my God, you've lived in hell. You've lived in hell. So if you put in a difficult place, try and think of ideas on how you can make that place better. This is Swadharma, but always doing it with love, always never taking life for granted, and always living by your means. Today you have more, you can live better. Tomorrow you have less, you live with less. You cut your expenditure. You don't live like you're a multi-millionaire when you don't have it. Do you know, this is the problem. Today I meet people, credit cards to the limit. Do you know how much interest you pay on credit cards? Why are you doing this to yourself? If you can't afford it, don't have it, And then you expect to meditate and find peace? When you're looking at your credit card bills every day, am I going to pay my bills? Where are you going to find the peace? Why are you fooling yourself? Stop spending, cut down, we don't need this, I don't need that much in my wardrobe, and live by your means. We've forgotten how to do that, and then we don't live our Dharma beautifully. We live with worry. It's just common sense. In the old days, that's what people did, didn't they? And they always put a little aside for old age. Nowadays, nobody has any money for old age. Nobody saves. They spend. Oh, God will look after me. God helps those who help themselves. You don't help yourself. Where does God work through? You. Gurudev used to say, don't do business in prayer. You are not a beggar. You were never born a beggar. You're a king or a queen. Live like one with integrity. Work with integrity. Work with honor. Work in truth. Work in love. Work in kindness. And if you can't do those things, you need to examine what is wrong there. Is it your business or is it you? Who has to be corrected? It's not always everybody else's fault. Look at yourself. What do I need to change? How do I need? What is going wrong? Why are things going wrong? They're only going wrong because there's something you're not doing right. Something you're not doing right. It's some lesson we have to learn. And you know what? I have seen this over the last 28 years working with people. Good people, yes, you go through good and bad times. But I tell you, you always end up a winner. Ride the waves and be yourself. Be truthful to yourself. I see people who are truthful to themselves get very far. They get close to the Spirit because they're honest. And what is the nature of Spirit? Truth, knowledge, bliss, absolute. So to live in truth, you also need knowledge of yourself, knowledge of life. Don't forget, we are spiritual beings having a human experience because we asked for it. We asked to experience things. We got so used to the experiencing. We got so used to the jealousies or the envies, and that we forgot who we are. But those things don't make us happy. They don't make us feel whole. If you don't live by who you are, then you will be lost for the rest of your life. And then what's the use of your life? Neither find God or neither enjoy life. You're torn. Better to find one than nothing at all. So, as I often repeat, my master's magic words to me, make peace your God. If you make peace your God, if you aim to find peace every single day of your life, then fear will leave you, courage will come, because that's what you're aiming for. Courage will come. And then whatever obstacle you have, you can see it very clearly. Oh, you know why I have this obstacle? Because I'm not jumping over it. I'm looking at it and saying, it's too high, I can't do it. It's too high, I can't do it. It's too high, I can't do it. That's what you're doing. So the obstacle stays, it's not going to go away. You have to jump over it. Or change direction. You know the anonymous writer who wrote autobiography in 5 chapters. Some of you may not know it, but it's a beautiful one. And it starts like this. Chapter 1. I walk down this road. There is a black hole. I fall into the hole. I get in, it's dark, I'm struggling, it's so hard. It takes me a long time and a lot of suffering, but I finally get out. Chapter 2. I walk down the street. I fall into the same hole. This time, I get out a little faster, but I still struggle and I still have a problem. Chapter 3. I walk down this road. I fall into the hole. I get out quickly. Chapter 4. I walk down this street. I walk on the side of the hole. Chapter 5. I take another street. End of story. You see, you finally learn. That's not the street you were meant to go on anyway. So, and this is what happens to us. This is the learning. And accept that life will give us lots of lots of hurdles, and we need to know how to attend to them. And not to feel deflated or feel I'm not good enough or to lose your self-esteem and to be fearful. That's not why they happen to you. If you get so fearful in it, you get lost. The fear eats you up. And you can never live your life the way you want to. You've really got to bypass your fear. And if any of you is suffering from fear of moving forward, there's a wonderful book by Susan Jeffers called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Yeah, is it Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway?
Yeah.
I read it so long ago, but I remember it impressed me so much, and I recommended it to so many people. Just, read things about fear and get over it. Our greatest fear, your greatest fear should be, what if I haven't achieved my dream before I die? Well, you're a yogi, you'll come back and do it again next life, but you won't know, so what's the point? Do it this time round when you do know, when you are aware. But once you know, then focus. Get good at what you do. Once you know, dig deep. Don't just, oh, I love this. I just work on it for 3 or 4 weeks. I'm good at it and that's enough. No. Dig deep in it. Be not only good, be brilliant at what you do. Focus. And this is where the meditation will help you. Once you've found your dream and you're excited, then it will help you to enhance your mind. Because what is your mind full of at that point when you're inspired? Oh my God, if I'm going to start this new business or this new course and I'm going to do this, and you get excited, and then you get fearful, maybe I can't do it, but you get excited, and that is really good. And just do it. That's the time you just do it. Don't think too much. Just do it. Just pick up the phone and make that phone call or enter your name into that course. Just do it. Once you do it, you're done. That's the hardest part. Don't keep talking about it. One day I'm going to do this. One day. One day may never come. And then when you're really sick in your deathbed and you go, I never did this. I always wanted to do this. It's really quite sad. It really is quite sad. You don't want to do this to yourself. So follow your dream. Bhagavad Gita tells us, where there's guilt, fear, or worry, there's no connection. What keeps us away from God? Notice when you're in guilt, fear, and worry, are you close to that spirit called joy? You're not. You feel, people tell me when they are feeling like this, I've lost my connection. So the connection is never lost. Guilt got in the way, fear got in the way, worry got in the way. The connection is always there. It's the mind that got so scared and frightened that you stopped that connection yourself. Nobody took the connection away from you. It's always there. All you have to do is say, make a decision. What must I do? My God, it looks really, really scary. But all great people took great risks in life. You have to take a risk sometimes. And I always tell people, if it doesn't work, guess what? You can go back to the old ways. Isn't it true? You can go back to something else. There's nothing to fear. I mean, how many people I have met in this center that have said to me, oh, come from abroad, come here for a few years, have a really comfortable, safe life, because it is quite safe. Everything very close, everything very easy, right? And then, they've come to me, I feel I need to go further, but I don't want to leave the security of Gibraltar. And then there was one person, did this for like 5 years, till I got so exhausted. I go, why don't you just go? Buy a ticket tomorrow and go. For 5 years you've been telling me the same story. I said, what's the worst that can happen? You fail, you give yourself 1 year. You don't like it in a year, you come back. So she went, thank God. And I loved her dearly. But she was stuck. Do you know when you're stuck? So she went and everything just worked out for her. You gotta follow your dream. And that's today's topic. Live your dream. Live what you want to live. And if you can't afford to live the way you would really love to live, then just make the best of what you have. And you can have a part-time job and still do a hobby in the evening, like I used to do. Well, I had a full-time job and also taught dance in the evening. And when dance went, because my knees went, I taught yoga in the evening. Until one day I decided I didn't need to do the job anymore. And till today, I'm so amazed at how well I'm looked after. I'm the richest person I know. I really am. In every way, I feel that way. And I think every one of us on this earth was born to feel this way. I really do. And I think it's the science of yoga that has allowed me to discover what was not necessary in my life and to let that go without attachment. Because I love too many things. I used to play the piano, I love dance, I love music, I loved art, and some things had to go, and piano was the first one. I'll never be a brilliant pianist, so I might as well let that one go. I wanted to study language, I wanted to be a gourmet chef. Not that brilliant to be a gourmet chef. Let that one go. Just cook normally. That's your job in life. Do you know there are things that we have, so many things we dream of, but you can't possibly do them all in one life. But you can try to do what you do and do it with love. Like I said, do everything with love. Everything with love. And then your life just works. It just works because you want to get up in the morning. It will work. As you think, so you get up in the morning, exciting, something exciting will happen. Even if it's trouble, it will happen. And it's exciting. It's exciting, it's something else, another solution to find to a problem. Another journey, a new path, a new road, a new beginning. Every morning I get up in my mind, I think a new beginning. A new day, a new beginning, right? And and time to forgive, let go of the old. Every day should be forgiveness of anything that you feel angry about or sad about. May I forgive it? May I forgive it? May I forgive it? People hurt you. May I forgive them? Bless them. They hurt me only because, I allow it. It's not their fault. I can say no. Don't take your word, I don't need to accept your pain. I don't need to do that. None of us need to do that. We just need to be kind and compassionate and loving. Nothing more than that. And then live a good, simple life. A simple, good life. That at the end of your life you can say, I did the best I could. And hopefully I've left some seeds of kindness and love in this world. Nothing else I can leave. Hopefully I managed to do that.